we were challenged by you guys to talk about 5 bottles. Cheap, under $30, expensive, over $100, our go-to pour, our special occasion pour, and our favorite craft whiskey. Let's get into this.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thanks for joining us. If you are new here, Erin's a social sipper.
Yep.
I'm a whiskey nerd.
Yep.
That's the dynamic that we bring to this channel.
Yep.
We do a lot of blind tastings, but today what we're talking about is a challenge that was presented to us in the comments by Josh P. Shout out to Josh P.
It wasn't a challenge. It was a question.
It was a question.
So thank you for your question.
Yes, thank you for your question. And it was asking us if we could do a video covering this exact list of bottles.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fun. I love these and other hobbies. Like, what watches would you buy for these amounts of money? Or what pocket knives would you buy for these amounts of money or whatever? Like, I love this stuff. So I love it with whiskey too. And here's the wrinkle.
Okay.
If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you could probably guess both of our lists.
We are very predictable.
We are predictable. However, Erin is going to just give you a straight shot.
Because I'm predictable.
I'm going to mention the bottle that first came to mind or has traditionally been the one that I go to, but I'm only going to mention it. My actual selection is going to be something different. It's going to be kind of what I'm feeling lately. I don't know if we'll see if that tracks over the years, but like what's been true in years past may not be true in years future because palates change and preferences change and all that stuff. So
well, and
we'll get into it.
To your point, I think I am fairly predictable because my palate doesn't change a whole lot.
Right. And
so
you're not a whiskey nerd, so you're not tracking a lot of stuff
I'm
either.
not drinking a lot of different things, and that's okay with me. Like, I'm fine with that.
So let's get into the first category, our cheap, under $30 bottle. Okay. What do you have?
I have Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Now, this particular bottle, not my favorite, but historically, this is a great product for me because these are like single barrel.
Everything is batch as far as Bottled in Bond goes. It's a single distillation run aged from a single season. So they're always going to vary a little bit. This one has a little bit of a sour note that Erin doesn't particularly like on it, but it's the only one we've had in like 5 bottles. Our last 5 bottles haven't had this on it.
So this is my go-to, even though this one kind of was but like the history with this bottle is pretty strong. For
$17, it's kind of easy to give it some grace. I mean, we can just make cocktails with this one and go out and get another one in a while, and it'll be from a different run and taste different than this one does. So that's the beauty of batch variation over time. So my pick is going to be, or would typically be, Early Times Bottled in Bond.
Okay.
I love this stuff. It is like $28.99 to $31.99 in our market. Okay. Usually it's for a liter. So if you break it down to $7.50, it's well under $30, even at a little bit of a marked up price. If anybody watching probably knew I was going to pull this bottle, so I'm going to put it away.
And that's what historically maybe you have said, but like lately you've been feeling what?
Right. I will. And the fill level on this bottle is going to be indicative. It is benchmark foolproof, $15. It's great. I mean, you can throw it in cocktails. It holds up. It's low proof, so you got to adjust your proportions accordingly if you really want to taste like a whiskey forward cocktail. But it's easy sipping, like you can just throw it in a rocks glass, sip it. Crazy good value, hard to beat. And I prefer this flavor profile, like that kind of fruity, fruit forward flavor profile over something like the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond personally, which is the Early Times also has that kind of fruit forward. It's just the Early Times is more rich, but again, not available in every market. So yeah, this is my pick. Moving on to our go-to sipper. Actually, Josh P., who recommended this video, said you're a daily sipper. We don't sip daily. Erin sips about once a week when we record these videos.
When we record our videos.
And maybe if I'm making cocktails or you're just in a mood and you want something, then you might have something. But like 2 days a week probably is about all you sip.
Yeah. And if I'm being completely honest, if I'm getting something just because I want something, it's usually red wine. Yeah. To be transparent.
You would drink that more often than you would drink whiskey.
Yes.
Whereas I drink, it's flip of the coin. It just depends on how I'm feeling and all that, and my time and how much work I've got to do and all that stuff. So these are not our daily sippers, but we're going to call them our go-to pours. So what is your go-to pour?
My go-to pour, you guys, I'm so predictable.
You already know what it is.
You already know. If you've watched this channel like once, you probably already know. It's Wild Turkey Rare Breed. It will always be my go-to. This and Bullet Rye are like my go-tos. So We just picked one, so Wild Turkey is the one.
Yeah. Like nowadays, I know if you're like, hey, I'm kind of feeling a glass of whiskey, I can just pour you Rare Breed and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, and you're like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't care. Pick for me. Just pick Rare Breed.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Can't go wrong. All right. Typically, my answer would also be Rare Breed because I love this stuff too. However, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Lately, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. I just haven't been reaching for Rare Breed and I don't know what it is. Like, if it went away, I would miss it and I would be sad.
Yeah.
But I'm just honestly, for whatever reason, not reaching for it.
You go through seasons. Like, there are some times when I don't want coffee. I want tea.
You do. So my answer, truthfully, in this moment right now, is twofold.
Okay.
Because instead of going with like a 116 proof, I tend to either want a little bit more proof or a little less proof, depending on my mood.
Okay.
And this really comes down to how I'm feeling as far as what I'm drinking from.
In the moment.
So if I'm drinking, if I want something to just throw in a rocks glass and sip in the background while I do other stuff, truthfully speaking, Buffalo Trace is my choice.
Okay.
I've been drinking a lot more Buffalo Trace this year, probably because we're seeing it a lot more in our market. And it's just a good, easy sipper.
Yeah.
These are the same company. Sazerac, Buffalo Trace makes both of these. And similar flavor profiles, again, just to throw in a rocks glass and not really think about it or drinking a cocktail. However, if I'm drinking in a rocks glass, I'm going to grab this. If I'm drinking out of a Glencairn or like a tasting glass, and I'm only going to have one glass at the end of the night, this is easy. Nashville Barrel Company.
Pretty much anything from Nashville Barrel Company.
Anything, particularly single barrel picks. They do have some cask strength blends that they offer out there in the market, and they do some batches for markets all over the U.S. I have people contact me all the time and say, hey, I know you guys love Nashville Barrel Company. We are in Nashville. We live right down the road from them. I'm there more than I should be, spending way too much money.
Facts. Facts.
That's from the wife, so you know it's true. But yeah, I mean, they're single barrels. These things are so good. And this particular run right here, this is, which one's this? Oh, this is Sonic Boom. Right now, technically, there are bottles of this left. This was a pick that we did.
As we're filming this on October 6th, 2024, there are still some left.
At any point, like, I've got five bottles of NBC within arm's reach of me, completely unplanned. That's kind of how I live my life around this house. So these two are kind of my go-tos on a daily basis. And I don't want for much else except for when you have that special occasion. So what is your special occasion bottle?
You know what? Lately, I've been really feeling Michter's Toasted Rye.
Yep, Toasted Barrel Rye.
That is, it's just, it's so good.
Yeah.
And if you're not a rye fan, if you can get a hold of this, you need to try it because the toasted ryes bring this sweetness that a lot of strictly bourbon drinkers can appreciate. And I think you really appreciate it.
I love this stuff.
Yeah. So I'm feeling this is it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great pick. It's expensive enough and hard enough to find that it's not the type of thing you're going to drink all the time, at least on our budget.
Yeah.
And we really do cherish the bottles that we have, and we drink them sparingly. And it's always a huge treat when we get to enjoy a Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye. That said, my typical answer for this would be Stag. Stag Junior, Baby Stag. I love this stuff. It's my favorite thing that Buffalo Trace makes. And actually, represented on the table here between these three are about three of only like 4 or 5 Buffalo Trace products I even care about. I mean, you can add in William LaRue Weller and George T. Stagg, maybe like Antique 107 store picks, and a good Eagle Rare here and there. But like, I don't care about a lot of Buffalo Trace stuff. What you're seeing on the table is what's represented as far as my Buffalo Trace love goes. However, I'm not going to put this in my special occasion bottle because there's a better option now.
Lately, what have you been feeling? Oh, I think I see it.
If I'm going to have a special occasion bottle these days,
this checks out.
Huge turkey fan. It's going to be Russell's Reserve 15. I love this stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't care who knows it. I'll scream it from the rooftops to profess my love. It's an amazing whiskey. I mean, it's everything I wanted Russell's 13 to be, but Russell's 13. I'm not a Russell's 13 guy. I love Wild Turkey, not a Russell's 13 guy. Russell's 15 solved all those problems. It's expensive. It's hard to get. It absolutely qualifies for a special occasion whiskey, and I would stretch my budget to keep a bottle of this around. I'm at the point now to where I got lucky enough to get 2 bottles. I feel like I need 2 more because the first one's already gone. I shared it with a whole bunch of people and drank a little bit of it. We're on to the second bottle now. And I don't feel right not having a backup because
Get you a little nervous.
It's truly special.
Getting a little sweaty.
It's truly special occasion whiskey. Let's move on to our next category,
Okay.
the expensive bottle. Now this has to be over $100.
Okay.
What's yours?
Mine is Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye.
Yeah. You don't have to keep that one up here if you don't want to.
I mean, might as well.
It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny because while
That's
it
our
is
backup.
our special pour, it is also expensive.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's why it's a special pour. But yeah, that's what I'm really feeling right now.
Yeah.
In this moment, this is it.
Yeah. I 100% agree for all the reasons we previously, for
Yeah.
all aforementioned reasons,
Yeah.
definitely qualifies. For me, I typically would say any batch of Found North. And they actually kind of are hard to come by now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like their stuff is selling out so fast.
Yeah. Good
and
for them.
And I absolutely think that this does still qualify. If I'm going to bottle shares, this is the first bottle I reach for, whatever Found North I have, because I want people to be able to try it because a lot of people haven't. But when we're speaking about ourselves in a true special occasion, for me, we're just going to shift things a little bit. It's going to be Stag Junior.
Wait,
I like Stag Junior.
I'm so confused because it wasn't your last
Sorry, expensive bottle. Sorry,
Yeah.
I said special occasions.
Yeah.
It's expensive bottle. Here's why.
Okay.
Okay, this is a true special occasion bottle. These are hard to come by. They're very expensive. The
Okay.
Russell's 15. The Stag Junior bottles or baby stags on secondary or marked up store prices. Now, here's where I'm going to ruffle some feathers because I want to talk about this for just 2 seconds.
Okay.
Secondary is cheaper than marked up store prices. So if you're railing against store prices being marked up, I get that. But the time and effort and energy involved in hunting these things to get them at retail or even slightly above, secondary has come so closely in line that I would rather just pay for one of these. I've said stuff like Fourgate is a really good call, like a Kelvin collaboration, my favorite things they do. Those are $200. By the time I buy one in the store, it's $220 out the door. I can get these things for $165 or so, $170.
Okay.
If I'm going to spend that kind of money on a bottle, this is probably going to be the first thing I buy, and then I will look towards buying other things. But this is going to be my expensive bottle
Gotcha.
because I like having a stag around. I just do, and I'm not hunting. I work too much. I've got a family. I've got a wife and a wife and a daughter, and I want to spend time with them. I don't want to go hunting too much. I just don't have the time for it. So I'd rather just pay for this. I went the building stores relationship route for a while too. Guess what? Building relationships, it costs time and money, just like building relationships.
Yeah.
So
I think my relationship with you might be slightly better than your relationship, like a relationship with a store owner.
Oh, 100% for
More
sure.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my relationship with Stag and our relationship with you, we can have that conversation.
Debatable.
We can have that conversation. But yeah, love this stuff. I would absolutely splurge to keep a bottle of this around. It's kind of a special occasion as well, but they're far easier to come by than Russell's 15. So that's
fair.
my expensive bottle. Sorry for the confusion on the front end of this. Last category up, craft whiskey.
Ooh, okay. So, full disclosure.
Disclosure?
Full disclosure. I was going to say disclaimer, and then I said disclosure.
No worries.
Full disclosure, I'm not a huge craft fan when it tastes crafty. So, rest assured, if I tell you I like a craft whiskey, it doesn't taste like craft whiskey, like what
Correct.
you think of when you think of a craft whiskey. So, keep that in mind.
And that's going to be common for both of us,
Yeah.
by the way.
All the way over here, sorry. So, my favorite craft whiskey at the moment is Hard Truth, High Road Rye specifically. Let's see if I can get this in frame. This stuff is delicious. It is heaven on your tongue. So, again, it's a rye, but it's so much better than what people think ryes are. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta give it a shot. I implore you just to try it if you can find it.
It's low proof. It's 93 proof, but
Yeah.
it's got a lot of richness, a lot of sweetness on the palate that I like, even as a bourbon drinker that doesn't love all ryes. But the commonality between these ryes over here is they have a lot of richness on the palate, a lot of sweetness on
They're
the palate.
bourbon drinkers ryes. I can
Yeah.
confidently say that.
And that high road rye for like 40 or $45, steal of a deal. Fantastic craft whiskey selection. My selection typically would be Middle West Spirits and technically still does qualify. Again, this back half is more me giving you alternatives, and so I'm not being so predictable. But Middle West Spirits is amazing, especially the dark pumpernickel rye, which now they have a cask strength version out that's going to be on the market. Used to, you could only get that through barrel picks. This is one of our barrel picks that we did. By the way, if you want our barrel picks, where we go to distilleries and select barrels that we put our stamp of approval on, then you can check out Patreon and you can get access to those over there. This is one of ours. This is one of ours. We've, done a bunch of barrel picks this year, and we're going to do a bunch next year. You can check that out down there. You can also get plugged into our Discord, which is a community of good people who love good whiskey.
Yep.
And they share samples of all this stuff. I mean, we got this bottle from Discord. We got this bottle from Discord. We got this bottle from Discord. Like, I don't even need to go to the store anymore. I just go to our Discord.
Our Discord community is full of awesome people, so you owe it to yourself to become a part of it.
Yeah, but Middle West would typically be my pick in this category and still does apply. But to put something out there that I have said a few times.
Okay. What are you going to say?
I'm gonna give some love.
I'm going to be surprised.
And representation for Texas whiskey here in Still Austin.
That's a bold move.
Still Austin, just the more single barrels I taste, the cask strength rye that they have out right now is absolutely bonkers good. The more I taste of their stuff, the more I like it. The blue corn, the red corn, they're just killing it. They're killing it down there in Texas.
I will say, out of all the Texas whiskeys I've tried, Still Austin is the distillery that I tend to like the best.
Yeah.
Because Texas whiskey can be a little wild.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little wild,
Funky.
a little wacky. It's hot down there. They age whiskey fast, and they do some wild stuff. But Still Austin does some good stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't taste crafty.
No.
To your point about the hard truth.
Yep.
And it's just wonderful. I don't think Middle West craft tastes crafty either. But yeah, these will be our selections for Josh P's list. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found some good information from all of this. But there's a lot of really good whiskey out there. You don't have to break the bank to get any of it.
No, you don't.
You can even get some good daily sippers for under or around $50. And then there's some really great special bottles out there that we do think are worth splurging on, depending on your palate preferences. You gotta always keep that in mind. What we like might not be what you like. Let us know what you would pick down in the comments below for these criteria.
Yeah.
Your 30 or under bottle, your over $100 bottle, your special occasion, your everyday bottle, and then your craft whiskey.
That's out of order, but...
Yeah. Sorry. It's cheap bottle under 30, daily go-to sipper, special occasion bottle, expensive bottle, $100 and over, and craft whiskey.
There we go.
You could literally see the gears turning in my head and the smoke coming off of them.
You were trying so hard. I didn't want to interrupt you.
The gears were turning, the smoke was coming off of them. I was so distracted. But hopefully you weren't too distracted during this video. Hope you liked it. And if you did like it, think about subscribing to the channel. And hit that bell. Join us for a live stream.
Absolutely.
We'll sip some of these whiskeys and hang out and chat together.
We would love to have you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be good to each other. And until next time,
cheers.